Hey everybody, you are watching my video guide to the map Monolith, as you will see it featured in the Team Throwdown playlist. As always, you can watch the whole thing through, or use the annotations you see here to skip to the parts you want to see the most. Really quickly, I want to thank everybody who's liked these videos and has subscribed to my channel over the past couple days. It means a lot to me, I really appreciate it. I'm going to continue to do these videos and other such Halo content as the game continues on. So, thanks. As usual, everybody, we're going to jump right into the callouts. As you can clearly see, Monolith is one of those maps where red and blue sides are clearly marked. So because it's symmetrical, I'm only going to cover half the map, and you can either use red and blue, our and their, whichever you're more comfortable with for the callouts. So we're going to head on over to red base to talk about this map. So you're going to be spawning here at red flag, this little back portion here. Moving along. This section right here, basically this ramp and this little illuminated platform, I refer to as red open. This area right here, underneath red open, I'm just going to be calling as open dirt, red open dirt to be specific. Right here, this is red frags. This chunk here is going to be red DMR. This right here is going to be red catwalk, which goes into red open street. This back here, this is back open. And this underneath section here is just going to be referred to as open plasmas, because there's the plasma pistol spawn here and some plasma grenades. Underneath open is going to be called what you can imagine would be under open. And because this area is just so wide open, you can really just refer to this as open tower or open, and pretty much if anybody looks over here, they're going to see everything. This is also where the overshield respawns. So we're going to look over here. This could just be red open courtyard if you want to get specific, or under red catwalk, whichever. This area right here, just red open box. I would call this structure in the middle red pulse because of the pulse grenades. And then this would be red closed box. And again, bright light. Just like this side, the opposite side, I'm sorry, was red open. This would be red closed dirt. Obviously back here is back red. Pretty simple. Red plasmas. And then because the sniper spawns over here, this would be red sniper. And this right here is red cliff. And then we're going to come over to the closed side. Obviously this is closed court, or you can say needler, because that's what spawns here. This is going to be closed plasma, because like open, there's plasma pistol and plasma grenade spawns here. This whole back area is just back closed, pretty tight knit. You could say closed DMR, all the same. And then this would just be closed. You might want to differentiate these little ledges here as, you know, red ledge or blue ledge, if you want to get really specific with it. And then we're just going to talk top middle. Pretty simple. You could say, you know, red middle, open middle, blue middle, closed middle if you want to get specific, but again, it's all there. And then right down here is just pretty much bottom middle. And that's going to do it for the callouts. A sniper rifle spawns on the closed side of each base every 2 minutes after you pick it up. So if you pick it up at 5:14, it'll respawn at 3:14. The overshield spawns here at open every 2 minutes after you pick it up. So if you pick it up at 3:47, it'll respawn at 1:47. An interesting thing to note about the incineration cannon is that while at the start of the game it spawns in the center of bottom middle, the next time it spawns it will randomly select a side, left or right, and spawn along that wall. It will then start flopping between the left and right side every time it spawns. I've sped up the spawn times here so you can see it in action. It spawns bottom middle every 3 minutes regardless of when you pick it up. So here are those times where you watch. Now normally when I'm talking about jumps, I'm talking about jumps that you can do at any point in time during a game. and I will mention those on Monolith, but first I want to talk about the thruster pack and how it can be used with the lift that is featured on this map. So, say you're over here closed, you decide to lift through, you've got a thruster pack, you're going, and say, maybe incineration cannon's about to come up and you want to get down there. Or maybe you see two people over to open and you're going to get shot, and you decide this was a bad idea. Well, you've got this thruster pack, so you can just take it, and once you get level with the tops of these towers here, I'm going to take it nice and slow so you can see. I went a little bit past it, very past it, and right now I'm holding backwards and I'm going to activate my thruster pack right there. And all this is going to do is it is going to push me backwards, so I'm not going to end up at open, and because of when I activate it, I am actually going to fall perfectly right down bottom middle. I actually hit the incineration cannon there and bounced off to the side. So that's one use. Now say maybe you don't have time to wait until you're that far across the lift to backwards thrust. Well, you can also get there by doing a forward thrust, as I'm going to show you right here. Again, you sprint into the lift, and almost immediately as you get through it, about halfway between closed and that first little pillar right there, you're going to hit that thrust, and it's actually going to shoot you very high. It should give you the warning you're out of the map, as you can see by the screen fuzzing up, and then you will land down here. Now if you do this and don't land right on the ordnance and bounce off like I did, you could lose some shields. It is possible, I believe, if you, let me rewind here, if you go through and activate it a little later, maybe at the top of that pillar, that you won't go so high, and therefore you won't take damage when you land, but it is most certainly possible. The last thing worth mentioning about this lift is if you go through and you activate your thruster immediately as you go in, there's no change. You actually don't go farther, you don't go faster, as far as I can tell. It's pretty much the same thing. There's no danger in doing that. However, if you go through and you thrust backwards immediately as you go through, you will break your face and die. So don't do that. I mean, that just looks painful. Now the first jump you can do that doesn't involve any sort of thruster pack, even though you can see it on my back because this is the same game type, is actually jumping from these boxes onto cliff. Now you're going to notice I'm going to sprint and I'm actually going to crouch and I'm going to miss. So we're going to do it again, and this time I actually land. Now you have to aim that far back along cliff in order to make this jump. I tried and tried and tried to get closer to that wall there, and I could not do it. However, what I think is interesting is actually if you do this on the red side, the cliff is actually a lot lower, so you can do it a lot closer to the wall, and it is a lot easier. Now one thing I want to talk about is you can actually use these boxes to jump into the base, into the top. As you're going to see, I'm going to come through here, and I'm going to run through, jump, crouch, and I'm actually going to make it. I was actually unable to duplicate this. I don't know if it's just that difficult or if I'm just that bad at jumping, but as you just saw, it is definitely possible. So if that jump that you just saw is a little too difficult, here's a secondary way of doing it. Once you get on the box, you can very easily, you don't even have to crouch, you can just jump. You can jump right here on this ledge by the light, and you can just walk over and jump right onto the base. It's pretty much just as fast, it's just not as fluid of a movement. Another little thruster pack trick you can use that I found out while actually making this video is if you run to these little gaps, which normally you have to crouch to walk under, if you have a thruster pack, if as you approach it, you crouch and thrust at pretty much the same time, you'll actually thrust underneath it, and it makes getting through there a lot faster. If you don't crouch, you're just going to smash your face and you're going to look like a fool. So definitely crouch. Now the last jump I want to cover, it's very simple, very practical, but you might not notice it right away. I know I didn't. So basically it's a very quick way to get to the overshield that's up there. All you're going to have to do is just do a simple crouch jump and a simple crouch jump, and you got the overshield. Hey everybody, as always, thank you for watching my video. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff. Stay tuned for more Halo 4 content.